This is a Headgum podcast.
Do you know Sean Patton?
No,
comedian?
It sounds so familiar. Maybe
He's
you've met him.
a great comedian. Opened for me last tour. Is opening for me on this tour. Is also an English teacher. Plays the. He's great.
Oh, I know. I know. Yeah.
Yeah, and a great comic. Anyway, he and I got invited to take a private tour of NASA, and it was unbelievable. It was crazy.
NASA's crazy. That's so funny.
Have you been in there?
A famous family story. Are we recording?
Yes.
I have a famous family story.
Okay.
I had no idea we started. That was just so...
Oh, no. We just roll right into
That's
it.
incredible. Famous family stories. We took a tour of NASA, was not private.
Right. Yeah, and there you could see people on the upper the
Yes.
Glaston thing.
And our tour guide fumbled his words, and instead of saying the Earth's surface, he said on the Earthus. And we thought that was like the funniest thing we'd ever heard. And we've been saying that for 20 years in my household.
That's
This is this today was so Earthus.
Yeah.
But it was. I don't really remember it, but I guess it's pretty cool.
Did you go into what do you call it? The command center?
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah. It was,
yeah.
and then they took us. It was about a 15-minute drive away to what as I understand it, is the world's biggest pool or deepest pool, and it's where they train. They have a life-size two scale International Space Station in the water. It's 40 feet deep.
Oh my
and
God.
it's and it's massive. Football field and a half. And that's where they train the astronauts who are going to go up in space to to do spacewalks and
I'm getting so stressed hearing about that, thinking about being under there.
It was so cool.
And you thought people were in there when you went?
Yeah.
You're like, woo!
I so wanted to just jump in.
Oh my God.
But, and apparently we heard a story about a guy who did jump in. Goofball of a group, yeah. And of course
clown.
He's banned, yeah.
Crazy.
And here's another little interesting tidbit. So we started this with an awesome guy who was like a fan, and he's like, I'm going to take you around. And it was just an amazing day. And two little tidbits. One is there was one other guest who was about maybe 15 minutes behind us with his own guide, him and his partner, girlfriend, wife, I don't know. But it was one of the guys from Five Finger Death Punch.
I don't know what that is.
It's a band.
That would have been, I'm sorry.
And then the other thing was...
but that's amazing.
Shortly after that, I want to say less than 2 weeks. This is in the middle of the tour, right? And I was in Chapel Hill doing a show at Cat's Cradle. And my sister, who lives in North Carolina, I have two younger sisters. One I'm very close with, one I'm not that close with. Everybody else is back in Atlanta, the rest of my family. But my little sister is in North Carolina, in the country. And she will come down to the show. She'll drive down and has friends, and I've met them numerous times. And and this guy... And you could see a slight smile on his face when he was, this is her friend. Hey, so do you believe the Earth is round? And I was like, and I was so excited. I can't wait to have this conversation with this guy. And I was like, yes, I do. And then he proceeded to explain the two things he had read over and over again online about why it can't possibly be. And no matter what I brought up, it just doesn't compute. It's not worth putting into the equation because of these other two things.
Because of his links. He has links.
And his links. And it was like nothing I said could penetrate this idea he had based on whatever epiphany he got from, being online at 2 a.m, and that they're lying to you. Everyone's lying to you. And I also was like, well, what do they gain by that? And everybody has to be in on this conspiracy. And anyway, So it was funny because his wife, my sister's friend, and my sister, as soon as he started going into this, he's like, I ain't gonna listen to this, JR. I'm out of here. I'm gonna be outside because I'm not listening to this again. And it was very funny. Like, clearly, he's been annoying everybody with it. But so we said, Sean and I were like, we toured NASA and we saw the live feed from the space station. You could see the curvature of the Earth there. And I explained, like, I was on, I've been on a couple Virgin Atlantic flights that go up to, I think when they're up there, it's like 45,000 feet above, they're cruising altitude, whatever. And they have the cameras and you can clearly see the curvature. It's not as defined as if you were on the moon, obviously, but you definitely see curvature. So I'm like, so did they film stuff and then alter it in post, and then they just they're running this film on, and
he's like, yeah,
it didn't matter. He would say, like, all I can tell you is it's flat and the sun revolves, or doesn't revolve, it goes in a figure eight. And any logical thing, like, so what at the edge? What happens at the edge? Where's the edge? Is there water? Is it just landlocked? Or and then just kept repeating the two things he had learned online.
That's all he's got going. It makes him feel powerful. Yeah. Sounds amazing. I'd love to meet him if he's single or.
Well, he's not single. He has a wife.
Oh, fuck.
But also the firmest handshake I've ever
really,
like, frighteningly, like what I imagine RoboCop's handshake.
A little painful.
Painful, yeah.
Do you go in for a handshake always when you meet someone?
No, not really. Not always. No. I'm quite happy though when somebody else instigates it and then does the fist bump, because then because also I don't have a strong grip, and I have to be conscious of, like, especially like these bigger guys. I'm like, well, I better grip up, and for two reasons. One is, like, I don't want them to think I'm a pussy with this wet fish handshake. Totally. And then the other is, like, I don't want to get hurt.
It's scary.
Because I have, I've been twice awarded this over, I'm going back 20 years now, but twice gotten the award, and then almost always, except for one time, been in the top 10, but softest hands in showbiz.
Softest hands in showbiz.
Yeah.
Have you ever modeled the hands?
No, I don't want to exploit them, and I don't want to introduce them to that kind of lifestyle.
Totally. I've always thought I could get into the hand game, but I met this professional manicurist who said my nail beds weren't quite right. I was waiting for her. She said her son is a hand model, and I was waiting for her to be like, and you, because I was kind of like, and?
Let me see your hands.
What do you think? I don't have a manicure right now, but aren't they kind of like?
They're kind of average to me, but maybe that's what you want. It depends on what you're selling. What are you selling?
I'm an all-American. I have all-American hands. I have the hands next door.
Yes, you have the hands next door.
Exactly. Maybe another life. I don't have my nails painted right now. Okay, so you just got back from Montana.
Yes, last night.
Do you get a little break now, or do you have to go back?
I do. I have and I've been on the road pretty consistently, excuse me, since September, and
it's so hard.
It's hard. I love it, but I'm so.
Is it? Are you by yourself? Or you?
No, it's Sean.
You and Sean, and y'all are besties.
No, but he's
Close.
A great hang.
That's nice.
We've gotten closer as the tours have continued. This is the second tour.
Do you have a good rhythm of being like, I'm going into my own zone, like, don't talk to me?
Oh, I'm not that guy.
What are you? What guy are you?
I'm more of like, I have a gravity inversion boots and a whole rig that I bring with me. And I have a tour bus for that. I wish I was on a tour bus. I'm usually flying coach with connecting flights, but as long as I can get my gravity inversion boots and the little rig going, and I do that for about a day and a half before the show. Stop. So I'll go into, let's say I'm in Spokane, right? And I'm at the casino in Spokane. And there's nothing else around. It's off the highway there. About a half hour out of Spokane. And even Spokane is a half hour out of Spokane. And I will get the stuff delivered there. I'll go about a day and a half early, and I'll just hang out there, take my supplements, and then I have a live video feed of my fish, and I'll like just check on them, and they're okay, and then and do. I have an Etch-a-Sketch, which is just for my brain. I try to upside down, do an Etch-a-Sketch, and I try to do the Notre Dame, and on the Etch-a-Sketch upside down, and then I'm ready, and it's showtime.
Simple.
Whether people are in or not, and it might be 3:30 in the afternoon. Shows
you decide when the show is.
I'm doing the show, and I do the show.
Take it or leave it.
Yeah,
I love that. So you have a little break. How do you like to unwind?
Well, there's no unwinding. I've got a 7-year-old just about to be 8,
God.
so there's not a lot of unwinding. But I
girl or boy?
That's up to it.
Totally. What is what's it into?
Right now, chick shit. But
Chick shit.
Cute. No, she's a girl. I had hopes that she would be gay, but I don't think that's going to be.
It's not shaping up like that.
No, I really was. Like,
it is hard to be a straight girl.
Well, yes, for sure. In this, I just know guys are fucking awful.
That's what I'm saying.
And she's around a lot of very healthy lesbian relationships.
I see.
And my experience is the lesbian couples I know are happier than
really.
A lot of, yeah.
What do you think makes them happier?
I think you have less of the heterosexual male and heterosexual female. There's a lot of compromise, and you have to work hard on. Biologically, a man wants to keep fucking. Right. And biologically and up till fairly recently, societally, a woman does not. Well, even though we know that's not exactly true.
I know, but some cliches can be true sometimes.
Right. So
words to live by.
That, there's and then men, not to get into the hacky men are from Mars, women are from Venus bullshit.
True.
See, here's the thing. Can I say this?
Go ahead.
You're a lady.
Yeah.
I've always thought I've seen it as men are from Mars, women are from Pluto.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, and I have theories and I did a lot of work on this. And,
back at NASA.
Well,
yeah, you logged those hours.
I tried to submit it to them. I had everything on a flash drive, and but it fell into the pool. Yeah,
of course.
But so I think there is more. You're starting from a similar place with.
I see.
Lesbians or gay,
or gay,
but so that's my shitty theory. It's my uneducated theory. And I also know that guys can be fucking cruel and awful and exploitive, and
I know.
And a lot of this is kind of in a selfish way, not selfish, but self-centered way of going, I don't want to have to deal with some asshole guy who I can see right through, taking advantage of my daughter. And I just wanted her to be in a healthier relationship early on.
Yeah. Growing up, my dad was always like, whatever you do, don't get married. Men are horrible. You're more likely to get divorced than stay together. Don't stay away from everyone. Do your own thing. Fuck them. But now he gets along with my boyfriend quite well. So I lucked out.
So, and what's your dad's story?
He's my best friend in the world.
Well, that's not his story. What's his story?
What do you mean? He's...
What would bring him to say men are awful, don't get married?
Actually, he and my mom are still together, very happy, but I think many of their siblings have all had difficult marriages, and so that has led them to see marriage more often, works out less often than...
Sure. I mean, I don't know how old you are, but my generation, and it was... abnormal to have a friend who had mother and father that were still together.
Right.
There were way more products of divorce, as was I, and in that era. And,
how old were you when they divorced?
My dad, I was 10, and we had moved back to Atlanta where I was born, when I was 9, and then had a really rough time of it, and then we got evicted from this apartment. We were there for about, I want to say 3 months, and then so I was about. It was probably not too long after my 10th birthday.
Aww.
Yeah, it was. It's not important, but it was early 10, which would have made Wendy, almost 9, and Julie.
Great name, Wendy.
Okay, and then Julie would have been 6, I think.
So young.
Oh yeah, my dad was pretty shitty.
Really?
Yeah. And how many siblings do you have?
I have 2 younger brothers.
Okay.
One of them lives here. One of them just moved to San Francisco. So one of them I have to shout out is understudying in a new Broadway play called Cult of Love. It opens next week.
Right on.
I'm going to see him. I'm so proud of him. And I cannot wait to see the show. Yeah. And I wonder.
Say it again. Cults.
It's called Cult of Love.
Cult of Love. Broadway, off Broadway?
Broadway.
Wow. Musical?
It's a play, straight play.
Yeah.
I think there might be some musical elements, kind of chic, a play with music. And I'm going next week. And yeah, I wonder, fingers crossed he'll get to go on at some point during the run because he's understudying a couple of the roles.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Yeah, he's great.
Well, maybe there can be like a Rosemary's Baby situation.
Totally.
Where something happens mysteriously to the lead and then,
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But I wish all the actors the best.
You just want to cover your bases.
Totally. Yeah, but they're cool. And you have how many, you said?
2 younger sisters.
Are you reading something good right now?
Yes, I just finished Moby Dick, which I really enjoyed.
Oh my God.
I really enjoyed it.
I've never read it.
I hadn't either, and it was as I've gotten older, I've started rereading some of my old favorite books that and I'm doing that now with this current one, and then also reading classics. I feel like I have less time to dick around with oops, excuse me, it's my phone. God damn it. Okay, I have less time to take a chance on something I might not like.
Yeah.
And Moby Dick was I did not expect it to be as funny as it was.
Really? It seems like a slog.
It is a slog, but it's real. He's such a good writer, and I keep thinking about the book.
Really?
Like I really do. Again,
Amazing. I
just finished it like, I don't know, 8-9 days ago, but I was
you must feel so accomplished.
Well, that's one more book. I've got a gazillion more to read.
I know. They never stop.
It's it's really funny, like laugh out loud funny sometimes. And
if I walked by someone reading Moby Dick and they're like, I'd be like, this is crazy. I'm like, who's paying that person? But good to know. Like, I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah. No, it is. I mean, I have laughed out loud at it, but and it definitely, as you're getting towards the end of it, it's a bit of a slog because you're like, I know what's going to happen.
Yes.
So let's get to that. I don't need to learn about the tarps and the masts and everything, but he's such a great writer.
Are you someone who, like, if you start a new book, do you let yourself just move on if you aren't liking it, or do you make yourself?
Oh, absolutely. Okay. I'll give it 100 pages.
That's good.
Or I'll give it 50 pages if I feel like I'm not going to like this. And like everybody, I don't. My biggest pet peeve is when characters who are wildly different talk the same way.
Oh,
I don't like that.
I'm sure if I wrote a novel, I'm pretty sure, yes, that's how it would be.
That's a thing that I. But so I started rereading this book that I try to read every, 3, 4, 5 years. It's called Economics with an X, and it's a graphic history of economics and economy based, and how from the beginning of modern, meaning like starting in mercantile type era up through the Industrial Revolution into America, and World War I, World War II, post-war economies. And because I don't know anything about that stuff, I want to know. I have trouble retaining that kind of information. It's an easy read. It's extremely informative.
I should read that. I'm the
great.
same way.
It's called Economics with an X, and it will, and you will breeze through it. And it's got just tons of information, and I just have to try to retain it, but I'm not good at that. But so every, as I said, 3-4 years, I'll pick it up and reread it, and it doesn't take long. And then I've got Pale Fire, which my friend Michael recommended, highly recommended. I've got that, and my wife, who's reads voraciously, the new Ta-Nehisi Coates, and then there's something else.
So you're doing multiple at once.
Oh yeah. No.
This is
I will
this
not.
is the lineup.
This is the lineup. Just compiling. Okay. So then, and then I got The Squad by Ryan Grimm that I want to read. I'll push. I try to mix up my fictions and nonfiction. So I read. There was a period where I was reading too much nonfiction, and it was bumming me out.
That's why I can barely get through a novel. I feel like I used to when I was little.
Prose fiction?
Yeah. No? Now I'm just like I need to know real. I'm like, what's real? What's real? What's real?
I had a period of that, and I wish I would have, at least put one story in between two nonfiction books for your mind, for your head.
Yeah.
Especially as somebody who writes and is creative.
I am trying to be that. Yeah, totally. Well, I'm excited for the holiday break. I'm about to turn everything off, make a bunch of soup, get my books ready. My friend gave me this new book about Joan Didion and Eve Babbitt and their friendship. I'm immediately transported. 5 pages in, I'm like, it's the 60s. We're in LA. Like, take me back, which I love.
Wait, so when you think about that era, you get glottal fry?
Yeah, I suffer. Yeah.
Really?
This whole thing.
That's interesting.
It's crazy. Yeah. It started in the early 2000s.
The glottal fry?
When thinking about 60s LA.
Oh, it just popped in. Just you can't even say it.
It's hard for me to say that. Wow. It's I get embarrassed. So just Emma, cut that. But yeah.
Emma, leave it in and then give it a little bit of echo.
Yeah, some reverb.
Some reverb, please. Thank you.
Amazing.
Let's brighten it up. What is PrizePicks? Well, PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action with over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings. PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 200 times your cash. Run your game all season long on PrizePicks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. Make your holidays bigger and brighter with PrizePicks, the best place to get real money action while watching your favorite sports. You can now win up to 200 times your money on PrizePicks. And PrizePicks now offers MasterCard for quick and easy deposits into your account this sports season. Join now because this holiday season, PrizePicks is giving away 2 free picks in December, and they're giving away $30+ million in rewards during, ready for this, Pixmas. It's like Christmas, but they replaced the Christ. And what is Christ? Christmas. With a prize. Picks. The word Christ is now Picks. That's fun. Download the app today and use code SENSES to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, download the app today and use code SENSES to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game.
So are you done with your tour or do you have more dates?
I can't remember why, but I had to, I know why. So had to postpone some shows that were on the West Coast. So I'm going to, in fact, those of you listening who are interested, Kat, I don't know what kind of pull you have, but we'll find out shortly. San Diego, LA, Oakland, coming up in January. When the fuck is it? Here, let me, I'll tell you right now. People. There we go. So at the Music Box in San Diego on January 9th. And then I'll be at the Bellwether on January 10th in Los Angeles. Then at the Fox Theater, January 11th in Oakland. And I will be honoring those dates that I was supposed to do back in September, October. Couldn't do. It's definitely a really fun set to do, and it's altered. I was going to shoot my special in Missoula. Two shows there 2 nights ago, and but when the election happened, I was like, shit, this is going to feel weird because it takes 6 months to turn it around, and who knows what the set will be like. And I'll do those other 3 dates. And then I'm gonna. I've got a couple weeks in Canada in March, and I've got different American dates sprinkled through to bring me up to April, in which I'll be in Europe and the UK for a month. Yeah,
that's so fun.
And then I'll be pretty much done.
And then you'll shoot it.
I'll probably shoot in like. February, March.
And like when you started this tour, was the show done, or were you like, I'm going to figure it out as I go along?
Oh God, no! I would never charge people, $50 or $45 to see me working on shit.
But how? But is there like a little bit of?
I'm Aziz Ansari?
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm not going to charge you for that.
But is there any part that's still that you are figuring out while you're doing it, or is it like this is the show?
I think what you're asking me is, does the show evolve?
I assume it. Yeah.
Yes, it's always evolving, and I that's why I always shoot the special about halfway through the tour, and then record the audio version at the end of the tour because there's different stuff in different, and I don't want to do more than. I try to keep it at an hour 15, hour 20, and. So I've got to start dropping stuff as things expand or a new thing. Like there's this thing that I've been doing for, I don't know, maybe 20 of those shows where I put one of Trump's speeches he gave in Michigan at a rally, and I just put it to music and I sang it.
Oh my God.
And then, and that's also evolved, but it also feels like I have to create context for it, especially, if I'm going to be doing it post his, his 4-year residency at the White House. And so that'll be different, right?
Yeah,
and then I've had to drop some stuff because, again, I don't want to do more. Hour 20 is really as long as I want to go.
Yeah, that's long. And how long did it take to write this show?
Well, 2 things. One is because of what I just described where I'm dropping bits.
Yeah.
Those bits now go in my back pocket.
Right.
And I have those ready to go.
For the next time.
So I'm not completely starting from scratch.
Yeah, yeah.
But then I'll do this thing that I've done the last 5 tours, I think. Which is I do stuff here in Brooklyn or Manhattan, whatever. Where I'll go, I do these things called shooting the shit, seeing what sticks. I'll be at Union Hall, for the beginning, first 6, 7 of those things where I don't know what the fuck. I mean, I've scribbled shit on, and I record everything, and I have some special guests, and then I'm figuring it out. Then I move to kind of a bigger room like Littlefield, something like that, Sultan Room. And
I love Sultan Room. It's so
Sultan
fun.
Room is great.
Yeah.
Great. All these places are great.
I know,
in their
thank
own
God.
way.
Yeah.
And I'm so fucking lucky. And I can walk or ride my bike to every single
It's
one.
the best.
So I'll do, and then there's just one guest in between, and I'm kind of refining stuff and then also still finding stuff in the other half or vice versa. And then, then when it gets to the really important, underrated part of putting a set together, which is sequencing stuff, like what feels right here?
Right.
Have I done too much of this thing? This flows into this better, and et cetera, et cetera. And then I'll do maybe 2 or 3 shows at where it's just me for the hour and change at the Bell House, somewhere like that. And then I'll go out and I'll do a mini tour to see how this plays outside of Brooklyn. I'll go to Milwaukee and Omaha and Fresno and whatever and see how this works there. And then by the time I get to that point, I know I can start booking the tour.
Yeah.
And then I go out on the road.
Amazing. Yeah, I'm asking because I'm just about to start working on my new show. And
Do you have a title?
I do have an idea of a title. I had a stroke last summer.
No kidding.
So I want to call it Broad Strokes. Kind of cool.
I don't get it, but yeah, okay. Tell me about the stroke. After years of fine print contracts and getting ripped off by overpriced wireless providers, if we've learned anything, it's that there's always a catch. So when I heard that all Mint Mobile wireless plans are $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan, I thought, well, what's the catch? But after talking to them, it all made sense. There isn't one. Mint Mobile's secret sauce is that they sell wireless service online. They don't have retail stores or salespeople. Instead, they deliver premium phone plans directly to you. Say bye-bye, okay, to your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. Mint Mobile is here to rescue you with premium wireless plans starting at $15 a month. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts. Ditch overpriced wireless with Mint Mobile and get 3 months premium wireless service for $15 a month. To get this new customer offer and your new 3-month unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/senses. That's mintmobile.com/senses. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/senses. $45 upfront payment required, which is equivalent to $15 a month, and new customers on first 3 months plan only. Speed slower above 40 gigs on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details.
Yeah, I was in my apartment and I feel like I should have a stroke. Like I tried to move my arm and I couldn't. And I was like, that's weird.
Wow.
End up in the hospital and pretty. You want the step by step?
Yeah, bridge that gap for me.
I call my dad. I'm like, I feel like I should have a stroke. I'm a hypochondriac, so of course everyone's first thing is like, no, you didn't. You're fine. But this, I was like, no, something's really wrong. So I walk myself to City MD. I'm like, I think I had a stroke. They're like, okay, hold.
And what besides your?
It was very quick. It was very. What happened was, I started feeling kind of woozy. I've gotten migraines my whole life. I was like, oh, maybe there's a migraine coming on. Mm-hmm. I sit down. I go to, all of a sudden I was like, I need to call someone. I don't feel good. I go to call my boyfriend, but I try and pause the TV. And I'm like, why isn't it pausing? Why isn't it pausing? Because my arm wasn't moving. I'm like, oh my God. And it was like I short circuited, but it was pretty quick. It was like less than 2 minutes, this whole thing.
Wow. That seems pretty long.
Maybe less than a minute. I still, honestly, when I talk about it, I still feel like so crazy. But then.
Wow.
I was like, I know I need to go to I was literally zipping my suitcase to leave for like 3 months. I was like, okay, fuck. I guess I better like go to the doctor instead of getting on a plane. Thank God.
Wow. Holy shit.
I'm sent to the hospital, blah, blah, blah. Pretty quickly. MRI, CT scan, all this shit. There's like a dot on my brain. And they're like, it looks like we don't know what today was, but it looks like you've had a stroke in the past that didn't leave any lasting damage because there's parts of your brain that, aren't active or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm 30 years old. Like, what are you talking about? And they're like, when this happens in young people, it's usually this thing called a PFO where there's a hole in your heart. I'm like, a hole? A hole? What are you talking about?
You explain so much, really.
Yeah. I'm like, it's been years. A hole in the heart. Anyways, and they were right. And I was born with this heart defect I didn't know I had. Wow. And if it's not super common, but it's not uncommon. Like it happens. Usually they catch it when you're younger, but and also you might have it and never know. But on occasion, if you do have a blood clot that tries to pass, it can go through this hole to your brain. Hence the stroke.
Wow.
So they did a procedure. Now they closed the hole.
I have to. This is. I apologize for my ignorance, but what is a stroke exactly? What's happening?
Oh my God, I get like so, this is also why I need to start talking about it on stage, because I'm like, I've been kind of like suppressing it. What is it? It is when there's like a blood clot in your brain, basically. Wait, I could be wrong, because there's also different types, but it's where, yeah, I guess in my experience, part of the blood flow stops, and depending on where it goes, it affects different parts of like your functioning.
Wow.
So you can, and a lot of old people too will have like little dots, but like they aren't on an active part of your brain. So like I didn't know I had one.
Right.
So I was just like la 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 la, like on
Do you
stage
have
laughing.
insurance?
I do have insurance. It was difficult to get them to cover the procedure.
Well, of course.
But they did.
Okay.
Yeah, thank God I had shout out to SAG for my insurance.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. No,
And,
I've told people, not that I've had a ton of these conversations, but occasionally you have a conversation about unions, right? Just somebody you meet in a bar, somebody who's ambivalent about unions, or somebody who's anti-union or whatever, or right to work, and they live in a right to work state, and I'm like, man, the benefits I've gotten, I'm so lucky that if I'm going to live in America, I have a strong union and a strong, I'm protected, and I have health insurance, and I've used it, I mean, so many times, and they're really good to deal with. And there's only so much you can say to somebody about it. Like, I know you're getting an extra $120 a year to not be in a union, but it's kind of worth.
No, I'm so lucky.
It's kind of worth the dues.
And also like the health insurance is so affordable that I have through SAG. It's like not bad at all. So I was very lucky that it all worked out. And also like I get emotional because just like working, doctors and nurses are so amazing, is what I'm gonna say. And the nurses who helped me like deal with that shit and like deal with the claim, and I was like, you are a saint, because this is stressing me out more than you could. They're like, we know.
Of course.
So they did the procedure, clogged up that hole, and then I'm good to go.
Oh, that's great.
So obviously lots of jokes were writing themselves as it was happening, because I was like, this is just so... The cardiologist's name is Dr. Love. I'm like, come on.
And what would have happened had you gotten on that flight, do you think?
I could have been completely fine, or I could have had a stroke that like affected something.
Worse,
yeah. So it's crazy, because then I was on these crazy blood thinners for like at least 6 months, and I was like, I flew to Australia for the first time, and I'm like on all these
And physically what happens when you have blood thinners? I mean, obviously, like what are the side effects?
I honestly felt pretty normal. It's just my anxiety was really, it was just all like, for me at least, very mentally taxing. Sure. But my doctors were like, you're good. And I was like emailing them every night, like, my leg is weird. They're like, you need to stop. Yeah. Lose my number, they said. No, but that's what
lose my number.
But that's what the new hour is going to be about, mostly. So yeah, I booked like similarly like a work in progress night at Union Hall for the new year. So I'm going to try and start doing it. But yeah.
Wait, on New Year's?
In the new year.
Oh, in the New Year's.
Yeah, to celebrate. Yeah. 5, 4, 3. So wait, does this work? Yeah.
Where was I? Anyway.
Fuck. No, ignore that. Don't film this. But yeah, so I'm in that new writing zone, which is good.
It is good.
But it's just hard to leave behind when the old show's so good.
I always have a postpartum thing when I'm finished with the show, and I know I'm never going to do it again. And it's melancholy. It's like I'm so glad I was able to do it, and I feel sad, and I've accomplished this thing, but I'm sad I'm not going to be able to do it anymore.
I know. And have each of your shows gotten to that place where you're like, oh, I'm really going to miss this?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
This one's really fun. This one, I mean, I say that every time, but this is way, and this wasn't intentional, just shook out this way, but way less political or, topical than, not to say that there isn't any stuff in there, but there is, but a good half hour of the set is talking about these two personal experiences I had that have nothing to do with anything, but have just kept growing and growing. And they're all true story. I mean, it's absolutely 100% true. And it's a fun, I mean, I'm kind of sick of doing it over, for the fucking millionth time, but it's fun to go to, Missoula, Montana and Olympia, Washington and Portland, Maine, and just look at all the people as I'm telling the story, because I know where it goes. I know what's going to happen. I know I have some...
Or their twists and turns?
Yes. And and it's fun to watch them, as I go through it. So, but I say that every time. It's... but this will be the latest I've ever shot a special
in the run.
Yeah, so I have, I've got another. I think we've done 44 shows, and then I've got another. I don't know, 25 maybe, which is probably the least amount of dates I've done for a run.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that, or why?
I didn't want to start until my daughter was in school, so I could have the whole summer off and hang out with her. And
did she come see you perform?
No.
Really?
No.
When will you let her?
I mean, I don't know. At some point, she's going to
look you up.
Discover that
the truth.
And the truth. Dinner will never be the same.
Yeah.
Just looking at me with horror.
What have you, the things you've done.
But I don't know. I'm in no rush. I'm not interested in, when she was like 3.5, I brought her on. She actually came on stage when I was in Montreal. It was cute. I didn't know they were going to do this. My wife and the nanny brought her out.
Yeah.
And we were all on tour together. But I have no interest in kind of forcing it. If she says to me, "Daddy, I'd like to see you do stand up sometime," I'll go, "Great."
Totally.
But I'm not, I have no interest in going, "Come on, honey, why don't you see what Daddy does? Look at all the people I make happy." That's how you get your fucking things.
Oh my God. Yeah.
But she's definitely starting that individuating, and you're getting glimpses of which way she's starting to head, outside of just like, man, she's really stubborn, or boy, she's really this or that, like things that people say their kids are, which may be true, but they can also be temporary. But and they're also meaning like, man, she's really stubborn. Yeah, most kids are, and but we're starting to get like, I can see where that's going. Okay.
Look at your personality.
Yeah. So that's cool.
That is cool.
So far.
Yeah. Crazy.
But I don't know if you're asking me these things because you want to babysit, but you're welcome to. Where do you live?
I'm in the West Village.
Yeah. Then you'd have to take the F to J Street, transfer to the C, I think.
Yeah, so the Union Hall area.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although I was just, last time I just took the 2-3 to Atlantic. Nice little.
You could do that.
Nice little walk.
And then walk.
When I come babysit. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm just always curious. One day, I froze my eggs, so I'm not ready. One day.
Yeah. No, you're 30. You said.
Almost. I'm 33. Almost 30.
Because it's funny. Yeah, you could keep saying that.
Yeah, almost 30.
Yeah. You can technically get away with it.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. And why wouldn't
30? Oh, close. Not exactly, but yeah.
Yeah, around I'm about 30.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
No, you should not be having a kid yet.
I can't. I got to do my dreams.
Yeah. You write your dream journal? Is that what you were saying?
I got to write my dream. Do you keep one?
I keep several, yeah.
Really?
In multiple languages.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful. They say you don't know another language until you dream in it.
Well, I don't dream in the other language. I will
Transcribe.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
Google Translate.
That's, yeah.
So far I have, English, obviously, which is
The classic.
my first and only language.
Mhm.
And then Hebrew, Aramaic, Latin, Cyrillian,
Mhm.
which is the I know it's the alphabet, but the Russian.
I was going to say,
Yeah. And Babel, and then like dog, I translate in dog, which is limited,
Mhm.
but it's still, if a dog is interested in my dream journal, they now have access.
That's so inclusive.
Thank you.
So you're doing UK, Europe? That's so fun. I did that this summer. It was heaven on earth.
Oh, I love it. And I'm doing some places that I haven't been to in a couple tours. Like I didn't do Scandinavia the last tour because I was stupidly like, I don't want to be away from my daughter too long, and
Loser.
she could not give a shit. So yeah, I'm going back to Scandinavia and Germany, a
So
couple places
fun.
in Germany and England. I don't know why, but Ireland, which is usually some of my best shows.
Yeah. That was like my favorite.
Yeah,
My Dublin show.
Yeah,
Liberty
Dublin.
Hall.
I did the Old Vic.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
It's bigger.
Really, and I also love Dublin too.
They're rowdy and they're so fun.
Always good shows. And Belfast, have you done Belfast?
I have not. I would love
to. Which is part of the UK, but it's all Ireland to me. Oh, no. All right, Protestants. All right, Catholics. Belfast was great. I had not done that before the last tour, and it was awesome. Also, the best fish and chips I ever had.
Yum.
There. And of course, Scotland. Again, talk about rowdy.
Yeah, Glasgow is the best.
Yep. Where you Oranmore?
I don't know that.
Glasgow.
What about Glasgow?
Where did you perform?
What's Oranmore?
It's the name of the place.
No, I didn't catch that. It was kind of like a club.
Was
vibe.
It in a basement?
Maybe. I know it was like a newer venue.
Oh, that's not this place. This is like in a church.
No, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
No, but that was an amazing crowd. So much fun.
Yeah.
Where do you like to do in London?
Man, I'm not there this time, but I'd say the last 3 times I've done it in, last 2 times in, what's it called? It's the church that's up in, is it in Hackney?
In Islington?
No, it's up in, Islington or a little. So the
so beautiful.
Chapel Hill. No, not Chapel Hill. That's North Carolina. It is such a great venue. Beautiful church.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
And I really enjoyed the shows there. And then I did the. Oh gosh, I'll have to think of it. But I did a theater in. Where was it? In Hackney? No, it was. I'll think of it. But
okay.
I did this theater. And do you know Zach Zucker?
Yeah.
So he opened up. I had
so fun.
Zach, the Stamptown
Zach as Jack.
Zach as Jack. Right.
Yeah. The best.
And he was so great, and they loved him. And the Empire Theater. That was it.
Yeah, the Hackney Empire.
Yeah, Hackney Empire.
So beautiful.
Cool old theater,
the best.
And really fun crowd. And then
I love it. So you said that's the spring or summer?
I will be doing it. Or when did I do that one?
When are you going back? What
going
month
back
is
in
it?
April.
April, and it's almost Christmas. On top of everything. On top of everything.
Yeah.
Do you celebrate?
How do you celebrate?
Celebrate every day.
Christmas.
I'm always saying that. We do celebrate Christmas. We do it all.
Are you talking about your family or you and your boyfriend?
My family. Yeah. My dad's Jewish, my mom's Catholic. We always did the Christmas, and then sometimes there's a menorah like around. Right. And one night my brother will be like, "Let's do it." Like I learned the prayer.
Baruch atah Adonai
Eloheinu,
melech haolam.
of course.
Yeah.
This year I'm going just home to Houston, and we just do nothing. We just lay around. It's really nice.
Houston Jews.
Yeah, there are a
Ain't
bunch.
no nothing like those Houston Jews.
Will you stay here and unwind?
No, fucking.
You're going.
I have to go to LA. I just fucking got off.
Why?
Anyway. Well, for a good reason. It's
For
my
fun job.
No, but my father-in-law's 90th birthday.
Oh my God.
So there's this huge party. Big,
Very cool.
Big thing, and it's, Christmas and my father-in-law's birthday, and there's going to be I got a text from my wife yesterday, or hey, is it okay if we pay $10,000 for put in for the party? I'm like, what the fuck?
That's so much.
Yeah, that's so much.
Did you mean $100?
And she's like, well, it costs a lot to have a party with rental chairs and booze and stuff. I'm like, 10 and I can't. And I said, like, well, I can't say no, can I? It's fucking
90.
Yeah, and she's like, it costs a lot of money to have a party. Well, you shouldn't be having those kind of parties.
It's better be a nice party.
And also, Russ isn't going to give a shit. I know the guy well. I mean, obviously he's your father, but I know him enough to know he's not going to care. It's like, but we'll care, and we want to honor him. And
oh my God.
And yeah, so there's like catering and stuff.
You're going to be at that party just like, hope everyone's having a fucking good time. Or in my family, we say, it's a very nice party.
Yeah, it will be nice.
It'll be very nice if you did that.
But all like immediately, like, it's because my throat was all fucked up and I was getting sick and I was traveling every motherfucking day.
Gotta get you on that wellness formula.
Wellness formula.
It's just a pill from Whole Foods, but
it's really, no, that stuff doesn't.
That does work.
No, it doesn't.
What if it's placebo?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but placebo works. I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight. Not on the podcast.
I imagine your boyfriend's got to hear that all the time. Like, he's about to make a really cogent, smart statement. And you're like, I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight.
Oh, you have no idea what he's been through. It's crazy. It's outrageous. How did you and your wife meet?
Ashley Madison is a website.
A friend of ours.
No, we met. It's a long story, but we met. I had been through a really rough breakup with an ex, and the breakup occurred in a shitty way. So not that the breakup wasn't warranted, but the way it went down was not cool. And I was shooting Arrested, and Portia de Rossi was like, I know this great girl for you. She's awesome, and she's you guys would be great together, and blah blah. And I was in no mood to date at all. I wasn't. I mean, I was fresh into this thing. I'm like, no, I'm not. No, thank you. And she's like, it's Amber, and I was like, she's a child, please, And then we met at some awards party thing that, she was on Joan of Arcadia at the time, and I was on Arrested and whatever. And then she was with her dad and Jason Ruder, who's awesome. And they're like, she's your number one fan. And I was fucking high out of my mind. I was like, oh, great. Yeah, see ya. And then years and years and years later, it wasn't that much later. It was probably just a little while later, but I was in the East Village where I lived for a long time, and I was walking my puppy, and she was shooting a movie at what do you call it? Two Boots on 3rd and A, and I was walking. I recognized her, and I was like, "Oh, hey," like I through the glass, like they were, in between takes, and she did one of those little heart things where you put your heart together and your hands together,
cute.
and then I was like, so I wrote, I was like, hey, it's David Cross. Here's my number. I don't know how long you're in town for, but, you know, I can tell you all the cool places to go to, et cetera, et cetera. And I gave it to a PA with no designs on a romantic thing at all. Just like, I know she's cool and whatever.
She gave me heart hands.
She gave me heart hands. And so I gave that to the PA, never heard from her, which is fine.
Girl.
Whatever. It was fine. So then maybe 7-8 months after that, I'm not even sure. It could have been longer. I was on one of those tiny connecting flights from Houston to Shreveport, and as was she, and she's
So
sitting
random.
she's sitting in the plane. It's like tiny, you know, it's one of those things that has like, you know, 20 seats, tiny, and this fucking girl is just staring at me. It's weird. It's really off-putting. And I could see it. I'm like, the corner of my eye. I'm like, what the fuck is this girl's problem? Blah, blah, blah. Look over occasionally. And I'm like, God. And then I realize, it's Amber Tamblyn.
Oh, my God.
And then, so there was this Army reservist who was on this woman who was sitting in between where we, you know, she was on one side and I was on the other. And then we're talking across her, and she's like, "Do you guys want me to change seats? Do you want me?" And she's like, "Yeah, thank you so much." And then she sat next to me, and we made fun of the Sky Mall.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't realize how funny she was. She's really funny, like fucking funny. And you know, super cute and smart. And then I said, "Look, I was going back to work on this film. It was like a 4-month-long shoot in Shreveport, which is awful. And don't go.
Okay.
And then she was going to start a film. I'm like, there's not a whole lot of great stuff, but I can tell you, you know, whatever. And so we started hanging out, and we hung out quite a bit, and then it became really obvious. It
sounds
tension.
electric already.
But I was like, man, if I make a move on this girl, it's awful because I know she's a fan and I'm way older than her. And so but let's say our 10th time of hanging out together and listening to music, and she comes over to us, you know, renting this house on this, you know, bayou or whatever. And
oh my God.
And then at some point it's like, and then when you hear her tell her, it's like, you know, when the fuck is he going to kiss me?
Of course.
Know? And then eventually I did, and then we haven't been apart.
That's so sweet.
You know, since then. That's going way, 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 way back.
Oh my God. Yeah. You have so many invisible strings.
They're visible. They're very visible.
Yeah. You must be a big Swiftie.
A what?
A big Swiftie.
I like her.
Invisible String is such a great song.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not familiar with that much.
I'm curious.
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Sing along.
No, I have friends that are very good friends with her, and they're cool, and I have heard amazing things about her, and just what I know and what I've read and what she's said, and she seems very cool, and she was super, super cool to my daughter. And
aww.
Yeah, like made her a bracelet. Like they made a bracelet together. And
we have to congratulate her because the Eras tour is finally done. It's crazy.
I've never met her.
And of course me neither.
Okay.
But I feel connected to her.
But I mean, you know, her music's all right. I don't
great.
I mean, it's good for that kind of music for sure. But it's not necessarily my kind of music. But I don't hate it like modern jazz or new country or shit like that, you know. No, she seems really cool. And again, I have mutual friends who I trust and I know are good people who, you know, are good friends with her.
You said she's a real one.
Yeah.
That's great.
She seems it. You know.
I love it.
Yeah. But I mean, and I like what she has done as somebody with a platform. I like what she's done within the music industry to go fuck you, and go give it back to the artist and the artist.
Crazy.
You know, get out of the business aspect of it, and so that I really admire. She seems really,
Yeah.
Smart and cool.
I'm a big fan.
I end every show with a question from my daughter, who is
Oh my God, cute.
7. All right, Kat Cohen.
Yes.
And what is Kat short for?
Catherine.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Not Katerina?
No.
Not Catastrophe?
Catastrophe is a good one.
All right.
New special title.
Oh, there you go.
Could be
Kat asked.
Pretty fun.
Let's see. Which one of these do I want to? Okay, I'm going to ask you this one, Kat. Kat Cohen. Do you want to plug something?
Yes. I would love everyone to go watch my new comedy special on Veeps. It's called Come For Me.
Is there a double meaning there, or is it
A triple.
triple? I know 2 of them. What's the other one?
Come to the show for me.
Oh. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Ready?
Yeah.
From my daughter, Kat Cohen. Why do babies cry?
Because it's hard to not have words. And so they have to let it out somehow.
What would you say to a 7-year-old, I guess?
Why do babies cry?
Yeah, 7-year-old goes, Kat, why do babies cry?
I would say because they can't speak yet, and it's their way of letting us know they need something. Don't you think that's true?
Me?
I don't know. I'm exhausted.
Yeah, you really shouldn't have a kid.
Oh, please. I'll figure it out. I'm almost 30.
That's true.
I have time.
All right, Kat.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for
course.
coming on the show.
Thank you.
That was a Headgum podcast.